I want to finish up this 3 or 4 part mini series talking about what goes on in a financial advisor appointment. Last time we talked about asset allocation, and I laid out in a long video what you go over in financial advising appointments, what it costs, how not to do it, how not to pay the expenses. There are up to 4 different expenses that you could be paying, and I laid out a 5 investment portfolio that if you invest anywhere in those 5, you will not be hurt too badly. It's like a computer. You think when you touch it you can break it and it can explode. My mom, my grandparents, if you press this combination, the buttons, the whole thing explodes, or there's a bomb in it. I don't know. It can kill you, your friends and family, electric, who knows? No. If you invest in these investments, you will not, it is not like the stories on TV. It's not like the cavalier people who turn $1,000 into $1 million. It's not like people who turn, I watched $100,000 get turned into like 10 or 20,000. It takes a while to do that. It takes investing in options, it takes investing in aggressive things that totally suck, and it takes investing a ton of money without spreading your money out, and some time. You have to work at it to lose money in the stock market quickly. It is not like a computer that has a bomb in it, because computers are not made with explosives in it, and the stock market is not made to just gobble up all your money quickly. It is made to trick you and whittle away your money through expenses and fees, through consistently consenting to being taken advantage of. That is how you have your fees taken from you. So the video I previously described was an asset allocation model of 5 investments. They're all ETFs. They're all low-cost ETFs of major indexes, and we won't go over them here because I want to talk about the third thing that happens in an appointment. So in the first video, we talked about the goals setting period. And then in the second video, I laid out the asset allocation and how are my investments doing. The question you should be asking your financial advisor, that we have a solution to. That's appointment 2. And appointment 1 section 1 of an appointment is goal setting. And you're creating a need that needs to be met by meeting with your financial advisor. The third is a reason to return. A reason to return. And I will make this short because it is pretty much any reason to return. Oftentimes it's a certain statement of a certain investment somewhere. You should roll it over here because we're going to save you money. We're going to save you money. We're going to do something different. We're going to get you a better investment. We're going to change it up, fix it. Something was done wrong. We'll get it taken care of. Do you have an old retirement account at an old job? That is a big one. We love those. We used to love those. Now the government's cracking down on those. The Department of Labor ruling. There's a long story about 401k rollovers, but that used to be a fat paycheck for financial advisors. You could get can I tell us, well, an example. A $300,000 rollover can be and could be broken up into 3 things. This, to me, I would call is the murderous 3. But they would say, hey, you've got this $300,000 account. Let's roll it over. You've had it in expense ratioed mutual funds with no management fee. That's at your 401k. They don't charge a management. Now they started charging some management fees, but customarily they would not have a management fee, and they would just have asset allocation, expense ratioed investments that you pick yourself. The financial advisor comes in and say, hey, let's roll over that $300,000. Now, here's what you do, and this is how you get a sick paycheck. Instead of just investing them all in mutual funds, getting a $250,000 break point at some fund family, and then a $50,000 break point at another fund family, charge the customer one time at an A-share fee. No. We do a $100,000 mutual fund portfolio that's at 3.5% instead of 2.5%. So we make an extra $1,000 there. But second, and here's where the payoffs start coming, we do an annuity, a $100,000 annuity. That paycheck can be $4,000 to $5,000 of gross commission, depending on how the annuity works, because there's going to be riders on there. Riders, which are even higher expense ratio. This is me making the fingers of munching up the money. And then number three, an insurance policy, a cash value insurance policy. And that's the huge paycheck that could be $5,000 to $7,000, $8,000 gross. So now that $300,000 rollover turned into a much higher paycheck, and it tied up the money because the money's in an insurance policy. It's all your rights are going away. So it pays the financial advisor to convince you to have your rights go away because now the money's tied up. Now they'll say, well, you've hedged all these problems, and you have, but they weren't actually problems. And you paid more for them than you should have because you had to pay up the pyramid, plus pay for the cost of insuring those problems, plus pay for the entire marketing program to make you aware of those, plus pay for the financial advisor to sell you on those, plus pay all those. So you're paying, where's the money coming from? Just follow the money. You're paying for it all. And so you're not paying a fair price for what you're getting, you're paying a premium for it. And that's what I'm trying to protect you against. So insurance, I spent more time in insurance than I wanted to, but insurance is one of the biggest other reasons why you will have a reason to return. So I talked about a little bit about investments and those old retirement accounts that people are going after, or your savings. You should invest in the Roth IRA. We need to get you set up on auto pay. We need to get you set. There will always be a reason for return. Here's the lesson for you and I. There's always something to work on to police up your financial picture, for your financial future, for you to monitor and mop up your financial plan. And you always have to be moving forward because the minnows and the expenses and the different systems and the way the system changes is actually changing all the time, and you have to be doing work to combat that entropy. You have to be sowing order back into the system in order to combat that financial entropy. So as long as you always have a financial homework assignment for yourself, you will be able to, for free, sidestep the third phase of an appointment, and that is the reason to return. The homework assignment. The homework assignment that your financial advisor is going to give you. And they're going to call you and nag you about it too. This is the job. You see, this was the job, is assigning those homework assignments and then following up with our students, the clients, and being like, hey, did you get that statement over? Can we roll over that account so we can start getting paid on your money because you said you wanted to roll it over? Now, I would always have a reason that was going to save them money, but it didn't guarantee that. It didn't guarantee that. I did not know that an A-share mutual fund, if you own it for a long time, but there's still an expense ratio, but there's always expense ratios. But the concept of an A-share mutual fund is if you own it for a long, long time, it helps pay for itself. And then it also says that the C-share is the expensive way to go. Here, this isn't worth another video, but if the A-share says the C-share is the expensive way to go, then you owning a C-share is getting ripped off. And I'm here to submit, and this is the way that the entire market is going, the C-share route, the 1% a year, grate the cheese at 1% a year. And I'm here to say that in 10 years' time, you had to work for all your money. In 10 years' time, there is no other profession in the world that we could, financial advisors, that we could get 10% of all your money to the tune of 1% a year for 10 years. And you just take a sum of all your money, all your savings, because it's hopefully invested at one place because you want to get deals and breakpoints and all this other BS. And even if it's invested at two places, they're both taking 1% each anyway. So it's all still 1% on your total sum, even if you've got two, even if you're playing it cool, because there's about 10 to 20% of you out there that would play it cool and have 2 or 3 or more financial advisors. Okay, that's fine. But they're still doing their 1% everywhere, so you're still paying 1%. And long story short, there is no profession out there that in 10 years we get 10% of all your money. In 20 years we get a fifth of all the money you've got, plus all the money you've made, plus all the money it's made. It's highway robbery. It should not be legal. And I quiver when I say this and suggest this, but that is my heart. At least you should know, at least people should really know what they're getting for what they're paying for. I think that would make it more, that would be at least fully disclosing it. It is not fully disclosed. People do not know what they're actually paying for, especially the middle class American. The person who's getting hurt the most is the person who has a $100,000 account, which means at 1% a year, that's $1,000 a year that they pay, up to the $1 million to $2 million, because after that you stop paying. After that, you become enough money to actually not be paying those fees. There's a whole different world of investments for the people who have $2 million and up, and they don't pay like that. They pay different. But I'm coming to a realization as I ramble in this 10-minute video for the middle class is the one that is being taxed the hardest. And if you become aware of this and you hold yourself to your own homework assignment, in conclusion, you will accomplish the third and final major phase of an appointment. You have to hold yourself to financial homework, and you do it yourself, and then you don't have to pay the fee. You don't need a physical trainer or a gym trainer. You have to go to the gym and work out. You don't need a meditation guru. You have to go sit on your ass and meditate. You do not need a gymnastics coach. You need to do the work at the gym. You do not need a life coach. You have to do the work in your own mind. I mean, you can do all these things, and these are all good things, and you should sign up for those things to get you started, but do not become attached to them. Do not become attached to them, because the solution is in you. The solution is always going to be in you. There is no model out there, there is no model under the sun that I have seen where it's I am doing this and getting this solution because of this thing out there. It has to come from within. If this universe is in fact a mirror system, then it is only an emanate. It is only a reflection. So everything does come from within, which means if you are attached to anything out there, it must mean this. This is a theory. I'm not for sure. But if you're attached to anything out there, then that is not a true and pure solution. So keep up on your own homework. Your financial advisor is not your savior. You are paying up the pyramid when you have a financial advisor. And if you hold yourself to your own financial goals, writing them down is good. Telling the other person is way better. Telling your parents. Show vulnerability to your parents. Tell them what your financial goals are. They'll disagree with it. They will be your hardest critics. If I know your parents well enough, they will be some of your hardest critics towards you. And you will be passed through a very hot fire. But when you succeed, I imagine, and I can prove, but I imagine for you, the taste of victory will be that much sweeter. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. This concludes the 3 major phases of an appointment. There's a goal setting phase, gets you kind of excited about what your financial future will look like, releases some good chemicals in your brain. Phase 2, asset allocation. How have my investments done? How's my performance, buddy? Which is the question you should be asking your financial advisor. And how you can invest your own money without a financial advisor, your own portfolio. And then section 3, this section, is setting your homework. There's a homework assignment and nagging yourself to do your own financial homework, as opposed to having the financial advisor be calling you up because they want to get paid money from you, and so they're going to nag you to do your financial homework. You can do it yourself. You can do it yourself because you just set up a system in your own life that should cost $0, and you say, oh, I can call about this and do this. And if you need direction, on areas where you can go, set up an appointment for 1 hour with me, and I will give you in $100 and 1 hour of your time of hard work, we will have 2 to 5 areas where it's like, okay, this is who you can call. You can do this that'll lower this money. You can do this. You can search for this. This is how to improve your credit. You can move this little financial piece around here, balance transfer this little credit card here, be saving here. Why are you investing in that? What has that return been? Are you mentally attached to, how attached are you to that investment? What could it be doing elsewhere? Can you diversify better? How are your investments? How much are you paying on your investments? You can lower your fees by moving to this company, by moving to blah, 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 or blah. Charles Schwab is decent. They have the whole menu out there, but then you've got your low-cost e-brokers. Scottrade, Ameritrade, they've merged. Fidelity, Vanguard. There's cheap, very low-cost ETFs out there that you can get for very low prices, and you can do it all yourself. I've shared here, you've spent a total of, you've spent about a half hour of your life watching these 3 videos. And I've laid out the entire roots, the core of a meeting with a financial advisor. I can't, other than insurance, I could spend a whole appointment on insurance, but other than that, and them trying to sell you on insurances you don't need, very likely, or there's cheaper ways to do it. Term insurance is fine. Other than insurance, that is the 3 biggest aspects of an appointment. So thank you for watching. Thank you for spending a half hour of your life getting smarter about financial stuff. It's now time for you to do it. This is now the hardest part. Here's the charge. In fact, I might make this into a separate video as well. The charge is feeling the energy within yourself to change the vibration that you are operating at. It has nothing to do with balance charts, financial investing concepts, deep financial things, statistics, marketing, economics, investment allocation, asset allocation, risk pools, any of that stuff that I thought was fun. It has nothing to do with this. It has only to do with how you choose to go about your life. How you choose to go about your life with the time you have. All we did as financial advisors were cheerleaders to get people to organize their financial life and take action and do it with us. And we got paid for you doing the work and you signing up and you doing all those things. So what we can do is we can actually close the circuit and you get paid twice. You get paid knowing you got a great deal because you pay no money for having your financial advisor. That's awesome. Getting things for less money feels way better. The chemicals feel way better. And 2, you are your own coach. So just like if you're a teacher, you get the feeling of having the light bulb go on with your students, you get to have the feeling of having the light bulb go on with you when you learn how to do it yourself on an online brokerage company. And you're like, wait, that's all they were doing? That was entering a trade? That was it's like, wow, it was that easy. I didn't know that that's all they're doing. And how often are they looking at my portfolio? How often are they actually like monitoring the investments I have? Oh, like never, because they're always calling me up asking for referrals so I can introduce them to my friends so they can sell my friends on the same thing they've been selling me on. Because that is really the last thing you do in an appointment, is you ask for referrals. If you're doing a good job and you've moved your customer along the relationship meter, you ask for referrals. So I'd ask you to refer people to my website at this time, and I would love to book an appointment with you, or, and this is the best way to do it, if the person is old, ask about their kids, and if the person is young, ask about their parents. Just go for one generation. Don't try to go for 2. If you go for 2, one of them will be super poor anyway. So just go for the, it's so stereotypically accurate, I don't think you could argue with it. It just works that way. So you just go for one introduction. So please refer me if you have kids to your kids, or if you have parents to your parents, because those are the future, or the people with the money, which that's worth its own video. And now this has just turned into a ramble fest. But referring people to other people is really a tangible thing. So let me just finish with this. Talk about work and not work, and white collar and not white collar. When you refer people to other people and you stir the pot of relationships, that helps the world. And there's a quote that says, "The only enemy is a man that I do not know." The only enemy is a man that I do not know. And what that concept is if you get to know and handshake and get to know your fellow people around you, it's like, wait a minute, it makes perfect sense. These people make perfect sense. And so when you network and you introduce people to other people, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, Martha Stewart. It's a good thing. So thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and please consider referring if this has been a help to you. It could be a help to others. So I'll try to keep the content coming, and that concludes the way to fire your financial advisor in about 45 minutes or less. Every bit of information is in there, but please ask me if you have any questions at all, because I would enjoy to answer them. I would enjoy talking and seeing what you guys thought. Please give your opinion, as well as maybe an area where I can improve and help save you time, effort, and energy, as well as money in this world. Thank you for watching.